Oakfather preserve you.
I was just wondering, are you still content at my side? This doesn't have to be your fight, and it's certainly not your typical habitat.
The city, you mean? With all its noise, smoke, stone, and bustle? I would not be here given the choice, but I promised you my support, and that is what you shall have. Still, though, this place crawls with life, but little of it flourishes. I see refugees unhoused, the destitute unwanted, orphans unloved. The city is like a forest with an overgrown canopy. Light and nourishment cannot penetrate to those who need it the most, and still it draws them in. The safety of numbers, the promise of civilization, the dream of better. All that potential is too often destined to die in the dark and rot in the gutter. I wish there was a better way. I wish everyone could see the sun, have a full belly, and know nature as a friend. There is a balance that is yet to be found. Listen to me, preaching like an initiate in his cups.
The city isn't perfect, but neither is nature. It's dangerous to idealize one thing at the expense of another.
You are right, but such drastic times can make it difficult to preserve nuance in one's thinking. Further reflection is needed. But that must wait for now. There are battles yet to be fought. We must save the world before we can dream of ways to better it.
Maybe a change in scenery would do you some good.
Then you'll have me. Lead on.
Oi! Stop a moment.
Fine. Come in then. You might as well meet the family.
Bringing the stench of the foundry.
Everyone, she's back!
Oh, Maller's mark, here we go.
Are we quite sure she hasn't actually died this time, brother? She looks dead.
Smells it too. Ooh.
It has been a hard road. But I can clip you both around the ear to prove I am no ghost. If it would help.
Forgive us, Mother. We're just surprised you still know how to find your way home.
Mother? Jaheira, these are your children?
She always brings the smartest people home, too.
Enough, Ryan. I taught you better manners than that.
No, you didn't.
A sending spell can carry 25 words. Do you know how many Jaheira's only message contained in all this time she's been away? 7.
Only 7? That's cold, Jaheira.
The cleric who cast the sending was wounded. Should I have sobbed on her shoulder?
The message went, I'm sorry, you know what to do.
So why haven't you done it? You were supposed to get the young ones out of the city.
And you were supposed to be dead. That's what your oh-so-stoic message meant, yes? Yet here you are. So, what happened out there?
I got my skin saved by this one. We've come to take the fight to the cult, which is exactly why you all cannot be here.
Why? You plan on winning, don't you? You're the one who saved us, so tell me. Are we all doomed?
You should really just listen to your mother.
Oh, The one stern parent is quite enough, thank you very much.
You are a very irritating girl.
This isn't your house, remember? You'll keep a civil tongue under our roof if we let you stay at all.
Have mercy, sister. She's old, after all.
So old! She can stay, but only if she brought home presents.
Seems I'm outvoted. See, Mother? That is how you go about talking things through with your family. Now, if there's more to discuss, then bloody well come in. And wipe your boots.
That might be worth a look.
I take no responsibility for your plants. You know I'm more of a mushroom man.
You've let my study turn into a thicket. Is this what I am hearing?
I tended to it. I just let it thrive in its own independence. You know, same way you raised us.
I raised you to be a sweet and kind boy. What happened?
I watched what you did instead of listening to what you said. This house has taken in a lot of children over the years. Mother dear was sometimes more commander than, well, mother dear.
I've found her to be firm but fair.
Ha! You see? This one is well trained. I have no need for you anymore, faithless boy.
Oh, save your fangs for someone who thinks you might actually use them. I've only ever seen her truly angry once. We were down the market when I was about 9 years old. Some merchant started in with the usual. Yes, but where's your family? Whose son are you, really? When Mother was done with him, well, let's say he won't have any sons of his own to worry about.
Nature's law in action.
I'll tend the sanctuary till the real druid is ready to return. Make sure that happens, eh? I'm still just an apprentice.
A fine day to you, sir. Are you known to this court?
I am not, but it's a pleasure to meet you.
Crude manners, but you speak well enough for a peasant.
Jessim discovered an old family tree in my study. We haven't had a moment's peace since.
Tetherian nobility. You might be royalty, Jaheira. You don't want to be queen, of course, and Ryan curses too much, so it would have to be me.
Careful, girl. They have a habit of taking against tyrants there.
Huh. I'm not a tyrant. If anyone calls me one, I'll have Fig chop their head off. Serve Jaheira well now, sir, and I'll consider granting you a title in my kingdom.
The others, all right?
Okay, a bed in the bathroom. Not gonna ask.
I hope you were hibernating, little cub. I can't think of another reason you wouldn't come down to say hello.
Jaheira! I didn't want to see if you were really dead. They said
Who said?
Jord and Ryan. They didn't think I could hear.
You little sneak thief? Well, they were wrong. Look, not dead. I just had a few adventures. Like,
We broke the curse that had gripped Moonrise Towers for a century.
Moonrise, like the place from your stories, Jaheira.
the very same. We can give that one a happy ending after all. Now, cub, solitude is a wonderful thing, but not too much. Come downstairs and fight with your sisters.
Wait, here. I was keeping this safe?
My Harper pin. Oh, was a certain little sneak thief playing down in my sanctuary?
No.
Harper pin opens more doors than most. Come down to my study and see if you can figure it out.
Jaheira's back. Now Jess can't boss me around anymore.
Coming along nicely there, Floki. Good, strong roots.
What's that?
Pay no mind to those. You're probably safe so long as I am here. But if you do not trust me, take the weight from the pressure plate there. Have no fear. The traps aren't meant for you. But, better to stick close, eh? The only patch of wilderness this city permits me. There ought to be supplies here to aid us.
And who is this?
The Archdruid's eyes and ears have fallen away in her absence. I am training new ones.
There's been killings in a holy place. Stinks of incense and blood.
Ah, the Temple of Ilmater. Mm-hmm.
Down by the Blushing Mermaid, there's a stink of something fey. Smell of arse, too. But boss doesn't care about that.
Well, I took care of the hag at least.
I bring word of gnomes. Gnomes in the sea.
Gnomes in the sea? What? Wonder what that's about.
Keen eye. But if it's supplies you seek, weapons to aid in our fight, you won't find them behind that door. There is nothing back there of worth to anyone but me.
Oh, I'm sorry, Jaheira. I didn't mean to pry.
Oh, you need not apologize. I only seek to spare you some disappointment. On my word, all you will find inside is dust. And the moldering keepsakes of a much younger woman. But then, perhaps I make too much of this. How can I beg privacy when I was not half so trusting on our first meeting? Pass then. Go on. See what it is a foolish old Harper thinks worth hiding away. A gift from my husband. I've had to renew parts over the years, but the heart remains the same as the day he gave it to me.
Rite of the Timeless Body. What's that about? I'd best ask Jaheira.
Oh, I probably shouldn't be reading this. Maybe I should just stop snooping.
If you are not meant to be here, the Archdruid's traps will see to you. If you have business, be about it. If you do not, poke around and see what happens.
Understood.
I did not nibble at the body, no matter how much I wanted to.
Boss says this work makes us honorary, harlots, harpies. Oh, it sounds nice.
Gnomes.
Gnomes? Really, what could that rat be on about?
Good. But you'll need to learn more than just the Harper forms.
Is that why they threw you out? Because you didn't like their forms?
They didn't throw me out. I left. There was just more to be learnt elsewhere.
Like the flaming fists?
No. Now they threw me out.
I like this one.
No arguing. Just tell me you're well.
I am well.
And Minsk?
We're working on it.
You'll get him back. I owe him a kicking for showing Fig how to throw hatchets. So, this cult. What's our plan?
I'm not fool enough to think I can change your mind. But if you're staying, I don't want you taking up arms. There are other ways to fight.
Really? Like what?
There are refugees outside the walls. They'll need protection.
You shame me. In all our hunting, I had put them from my mind.
Right. Leave them to us then. If we can't get them past the checkpoints, we'll at least make sure they're watched over if it comes to fighting in the streets. If I have to stay home and babysit, then it's your job to make sure there's still a home to look after. Take what you need, and we'll do the grand reunion when you come back for good. So, lovely as it is to have you back, Mother. Go away. You have work to do.
Aye, aye, Commander. Wait, one more thing. There are doppelgangers among the cult. Be on your guard.
Huh. All right, then. If you turn up looking for hugs and kisses, I'll be sure to shoot first.
That's my girl.
Thank you for looking out for her. Now bring her back alive. She's too old for any heroic death nonsense.
Commander!
Spare me your salutes, little traitor. You walked me right into that ambush.
Sorry, Commander. You are my commander, but George promised me pies.
Huh. I can't fault your priorities. You'll look after them for me?
Can I have a real sword?
No.
Fine.
Oh, dummy. Look at its arms. Just looks a hand.
That's why it comes losing.
Jaheira would do anything to see her family safe. They're lucky to have her, and she's lucky to have them.
Jaheira's family is a credit to her. She's wise to keep them secret. Safe. I was never afforded a chance to start a family of my own. Serving nature always had to come first.
Yes?
All right, so why didn't you tell me about your family?
Just, plain and simple foolishness. As if by keeping clear of my family, I might keep them clear of the cult in turn. And if this fight were to go against us, well, we had already done their mourning. Why visit it on them twice?
You were just doing what you thought was best as their mother. I understand. I think I might have done the same.
Well, if fool I be, then at least I'm in good company. I was wrong to think I could keep my children from this fight. They're Baldurian born and bred. The only damned reason I root myself in this place. This city is a cesspit. An open sewer of the soul that taints us with its filth and churns us out when all that is good has been stripped away. It also happens to be their home. And so it is mine. Ugh. That might be the first time I have said that out loud. Now come. We had best get to saving it. Lest Ryan turn her ire on us both.
Actually, I wanted to ask you something.
Ask it.
What can you tell me about the Harpers?
I've learned not to unpick the legends so many have woven around our name. Seeing the hope die in a romantic's eyes, it is only funny the first few dozen times. Some call the Harpers heroes. Others, petty meddlers who cannot help but stick their nose into every conflict they stumble across. The truth is in there somewhere. We try to work towards a common balance. If every other faction finds us equally annoying, that is probably a sign that we are succeeding.
Surely people understand that the Harpers are working for the greater good.
Ha! No. No, thank you. Let the wiser members of my order wrinkle their brows over that particular phrase. In all my years fighting for the Harpers, I am still never certain what the greater good means. I've learned to be content with, well, that was not so bad as it might have been.
It sounds like you and the Harpers have a complicated history.
You might say that. I left their service and swore never to return. Multiple times, if I recall. It is easy to get tired of the intrigue. The high causes shrouded in secrecy. I thought I might find another way to be of use to the world. And for a time I did. But my comrades would use a rather irritating phrase. A Harper never leaves the chorus. She simply goes to spread the song. Meaning that whatever cause I turned my hand to, there I would find them. Harpers, stuffed with their own virtue, but always there. Always trying to help. So I returned to the fold. Returned to the city. Eventually they hung a title around my neck. High Harper. And I still do not know how to play one. If I wanted to spare Geraldus the same headaches, well, you now know why I needed him to be sure this is the life he wants. But you're staring. Which means the tadpole has finally eaten your brain. Or have I been talking too much? Either way, time to move, no?
No, no. I was just thinking. How did you end up joining?
I will not bore you with a long tale. The short. I was born to a high family in Tedir. I remember little except that when my family fell, they fell far and fast. I learned young what fear and hunger make desperate people do. I learned to do some of it myself even. Until a roving circle of hedge druids found me. They raised me in the wild. But when it became clear I was perhaps not suited to a life of idle reflection, I was sent to the Harpers. To do. They showed me how to fight with sword, as well as spell, and gave me ample causes to wield them for. If I was not always the truest believer in every cause, well, I fell in love with someone who was. And that is almost the same thing.
Want to tell me about this someone you loved?
No, not really.
Jaheira, I found the love letter and the amulet in your house. I know about Khalid. Tell me about him.
Most Harpers have swagger and flash their feathers to catch your attention. Khalid was quiet to a fault. And when we were married, on an upturned cart in the rainy Dalelands, he stammered so much. I've never been sure if our vows actually counted.
He sounds like he had true strength.
Oh, I'm sure time and an aging mind has smoothed out a few of his flaws. But he was a good man. The songs make much of Khalid's meekness. The quiet little Harper who had to keep a tight hold on his courage, but he had it when it counted. And more than that, he had compassion. When you live a Harper's life, see all that a Harper sees, that is by far the harder thing to hold on to. But a bard can tell you all the rest. As for all the things they cannot, well, I shall just have to keep those for myself.
Yes, ma'am. Oh, darn. One more thing.
Yes?
I promise it's the last thing I took, but I found a strange scroll in your sanctuary.
It is a ritual, or it describes one at least, practiced by druids of certain esoteric circles. If they be learned and powerful enough, the practitioner of this ritual might slow their aging, extend their life well beyond its natural reach. In greener days, I might have been strong enough to do it. I might be yet, with the right preparations.
I'd cling to life forever if it means I could keep Baldur's Gate safe. But time marches me to a different fate.
And if it does? That does not mean you cannot dig your heels in a little.
It's only natural to want more life.
Of course. It is our way. Just as it is Death's way to meet us along the path, gently oblivious to whatever it is we want. I spent most of my life fighting those who tried to escape their end. Gatherick, Irenicus, Sarevok. That is not company I would like to keep. In truth, I had put this ritual from my mind. Until last light. Trapped in that darkness, I turned to my research again. What if I was a little stronger? As fast as I once had been. Then you came. And made the question moot. But I kept this, just in case, I told myself. A final resort. Perhaps you were not the savior you seemed. I had learned better than to think of life as some simple tale after all. There is no guarantee of happy endings, or true heroes. I believe that still. But when I look on all that we have achieved since, I wonder perhaps it is not heroes we need. Only people who are willing to try. I do not know what manner of story that makes. But I do know that without an ending, it would be no story at all. So I will accept mine, when and however it comes. As for this city story, well, that is entirely your problem now, Cub.
I'm honored you think of me that way.
Ha! Do not thank me for slinging a weight around your neck. I might start to feel bad. I do mean what I say. But I am also a Harper. In every honeyed word, there is a hook. But I do not plan on going anywhere just yet. And besides, you still have a tadpole in your skull. You are almost certainly going to die first.
Good point.
Jaheira's wisdom is plain to see. One of the greatest ways in which you can serve nature is to surrender your body back to it when the time comes. It may be some centuries before my flesh is ready to yield, but I hope I shall be bold enough to follow in her path when the day comes.
Who among us hasn't wondered what it would be like to live forever? But I think you've got the right idea. Better I live fully and meaningfully than to pine for an always and forever I could never achieve.
The mouth says.
Wise words. Now let's go look for some gnomes in the ocean.